treasonous. Treasonous.
Like he was actually telling the Gen Zs, mkuje na mimi nikuje tuone nani mkubwa. So like after that speech, and then we observe the way he actually acted that he's doing something constructive. The point where alienda aka change cabinet yake, alafu aka change alichange nini, kuna hii point nilikuwa nataka ku approach, but the point is ali increase salaries of officers, sindio?
Makarao.
So like
kusema
so he
alisema
hatuna evidence
hatu alisema, so hatujui kama
ilifanyika
Jumurana alituambia something different.
So like he actually knows that the officers have power, not checking, but the fact that they are not poor, that they are actually poor, like not poor, like nasema like they are needy, they have needs, not checking, hawana do kama wao. So akiwa promise salary increment, wewe unajua ukikosa kufuata orders unafutwa. Yes, mkikuwa rebellious mnaweza ambia salary yenu mtakuwa mnaiona kwa view sasa, not checking. And because of that, the only institution that has all power ni military. Because military, I think they have the power to actually define presidential orders based on a code. Ama vile tu umesema they wako na standard in a way that they are meant to protect mwananchi at all costs, even from the president. So that's why it was quite hard to actually control the military. Right? But for the police officers, it is easy to control. Na checking. Because police officers, not sorry to say, nisikuje nitafutwe, sorry to say, but hawana hiyo stand. Wanapatiwa
wacha tuingie hii topic ya polisi. Because wanapata because police is a very simple thing. Abu angalia vizuri. You know, as much as tunaongea hii story, we need to hata kupeana solutions, right? Now, police, the structure of the police, sijasoma, I don't know about it so much. I've never been involved in any police activity ama into any research on police, but it's just an observation, right? So police, tuanze from recruitment, right? Now maybe we should rethink hiyo hata gawena. So police was used to be by the politicians from independence to employ the guys who who in the grading system of the education system wako in the lower side of the grading system. Yani hawajapita, sisemi ni wajinga, nasema walipata grade yenye
like based on the academic system.
Yes.
Like waligradiwa hapo.
The qualifications ni upate ni D-, D, hivyo C+, hapo. Right? Hata C+, I'm not sure about it, but hapo. You get? So that is the caliber of people wenye wako kwa
police.
The majorly, right? I don't know kama wanachukuanga higher. I don't know. So abu imagine say who got an A, who is in terms of research and na kufanya academic so reading, because when you're doing investigations unafaa ujue kusoma. You have to have a very good memory. You have to be intelligent, una sport, una get as much as intelligence in terms of education, kupata A ama B na nini is not a measure of intelligence, but in terms of kama ni law, kujua law, ku enforce law, to deal with people, how to communicate na hizo vitu zote, people with grade A to say C ama C+, wako more better to communicate in terms of to a mwananchi in Kiswahili or English with an understanding of the law in a better manner than mse mwenye ako D D+, unaget? Even if there are elements of wasewa D+ wenye wataweza to do the same thing in terms of the social intelligence yenye ako nayo, or on communication and how to deal with mob psychology, because they really face a lot of mob psychology situations. They are more in the upper side than in this lower place. So hiyo ni mistake number 1 tunafanyanga. Tunapelekanga we do not take the best people in the
most important areas
in the police force.
Police force, okay.
Actually waitangu police force nowadays, wanakatanga kuitwa police force, wanaitwa service, police service.
Police service.
Yes. Naget? Haya. Hiyo ni 1. Then 2, hawana equipments, right? So kama ni protest inafanyika, the only resources wako nazo ni tear gas na live bullets, jota labda hawana rubber bullets, na kama wako nazo si mob
kidogo,
na maybe those cars vehicles to
maneuver to within,
ama kuba wase kupita, you know,
na ile gari ya maji
na water cannons, na hizo hawana, si enough, right? So they result into
using actually
conniving through hizo dubious means ku attack nini, so that we instill fear wasewa kuwa push back in terms of enforcement. Of course askari akona rule, akona how he should follow, because as much as an engage the mwananchi na protect, his protections comes first, right? So hapa ndo sasa the law haikwangi inakuanga ambiguous. So that's another point. So the first one ni hawapelekangi the best people in the force, sindio? The other one ni hawana equipments. The other one ni the law is not clear. Inakuanga na a lot of ambiguity. Unaget? Especially kama history ya protest. If there is a law ya polisi, ya protest iko ambiguous. Inasema sijui ni article 137 of the constitution. Inasema wewe enda nini, ukienda you should be unarmed, uko na right to associate, to protest, to inaitwaje, wherever. But iko ambiguous. Unarmed, what does unarmed mean, you know? Because when you have a phone, tunaweza sema leo siku hizi kuna cyberbullying, a phone can be categorized as a weapon.
Hadi unaweza ambiwa pia si kombora.
Unaget?
Naambia ni bora.
Haiko clear. Si ndio? Haiko clear. Unajua these guys wanafikirianga hivyo. Wanafikirianga hivyo by the way. Pia hawasemi kama mna protest, should there be designated areas for protest? Unaget? Tunaget? Hakuna. So
just pia kama kuna culture,
na kama ziko the police do not enforce that law ama educate, because I am sure there is a part in police. Okay, let me ask you, you're enforcing a law that you don't know.
Wewe si unaenda na
Ulaget? Na hapo ndo, that is the issue. Hapo ndo issue inakuanga, because say anajua tu
wewe enda uko
aki-engage msee, huo msee mwenye ana-engage ni enemy. Hakuna nini, ajui ati ni mwananchi, anajua huo ni enemy. So kama ni mdingo, this is the enemy. So yeye anamu-engage kama enemy. Unaona? So ha-engage kama mwananchi, hako like ati
unakam kuniambia nini kuhusu constitution. Mimi niko na bunduki.
Constitution na bunduki ni gani?
Ni gani iko na say. Sahi
yako unaget?
Unamtishia
pia ako na frustration zake. First of all, saloni wana place ana stay ni wana, unaget? Place ana stay ni ujinga, place ana do job ni ujinga, and then maisha inamgonga kitu, unaget? Kama ni tuseme gari huku police station, sometimes some places I remember there's a place tulienda, my dad alikuwa na buy gari, tulienda naye coast. As we were coming, we were simamishwa by this traffic guys. This karao alikuwa na mahabusu, some guys wamearrest, doing some petty crime, anatuambia tuwape lift, so tunakuja na gari towards Nairobi now back to Nyeri, na so tunauliza form, kwani hamna gari. Wanasema ai hata mafuta manze tuna depending na hizi hongo
zenye mnatupea
mse.
Sisi hatuelewangi ama.
So hebu imagine kama umse hachukui hongo, atapeleka hapo watu.
Ndio maana basi nimepata.
So how receive hata resources from above and then sasa unajua the structure of military ama any force or enforcement, you do not question your boss ama you do not protest, kuna vitu hufai kufanya. So una imagine if mko disenfranchised, there is no form of expression ama feedback. Ni you take orders, you do them.
Hakuna reverse, ni down, ni kwenda tu.
Hakuna. You see? So unaona policy, it's a whole topic because
maneno yao pia
ni ngumu.
Because vile umesema hapo kwa context ya venye unapokea hiyo hongo, yana fuel gari zao za polisi, na by the way umse salo si fitting. So like lazima alipia watoto fees, lazima afundishe watoi. So labda ndio choni anapata.
So Abu imagine this guy.
Sasa imagine
amekuja protest. Amevaa hizo magari ya nini, and then msee anamrushia mdomo hapo,
hajui chenye yeye anapitia,
ati yako na rights. Unamwambia nini? Unajua ni vizuri tuangalie the other side. Unamwambia nini? Na mimi sitetei serikali by the way. Usinipiga. Mimi sitetei serikali.
Tena pale kwa shop
nisalimiwe.
Nisalimiwa.
So mimi tukirudi kwa history ya Rigathi, I've had a lot of let us focus on the person Rigathi. You know, he's from, alikuwa MP huku Mathira, by the way tuko Mathira, alikuwa MP huku, tutakujiwa wakuja tuko hapa, alikuwa MP huku, right? Si mnaongea na wase huku town when he was an MP, and those people who have interacted with him, those who are for him, who are against him, who have seen him,
what he has done,
who the person Rigathi is. I've had a guy who so it's to mention this guy alikuwa, I don't know, they met with this guy from huku, hizi stories za kahawa nini, then ati they differed with he's a guy who is an official of wase wa kahawa, right? Ni wase wa kahawa, so when wana interact na politicians, they have the agendas they want to be so sorted. Lazima wata contact na these politicians. So they differed on something. I don't want to disclose. Nisijulikane naongea kuhusu nani. Then wakidiffer, they went to election. This guy got elected MP, and then no, not even before he gets elected. Before he gets elected as an MP, right? Because he was involved in his brother when he was
he passed on.
He was sick before he passed on. Alikuwa involved na some of the issues. So hiyo time alikuwa interact na that guy, and then after some time wakapatana na huko Nairobi. I don't know what he wanted to do in a government office, and met Rigathi. And this guy greeted every other person and never greeted him because he remembers him when they differed.
He holds
akona some form of kushika grudge, right?
Pia ni recurring by the
unaget. Pia there's a guy I saw on some station, sijuka ni Kegosho ama ni I don't know, FM. Alikuwa ana explain ati in Kiambu, I mean Rimuru, is in Kiambu. Ati they were supposed to meet, he was supposed to go and eat some nyama in some place. But this guy, I don't know him. I don't know him. I just saw when he was talking. And the same thing happened. The same encounter, similar thing. ati alienda because this guy apparently was a supporter for Moses Kuria. Now when he's a former governor, I guess he's a former governor, I don't know for which nini. So when he was called, because he was not elected and no, when he was called by some friend who was a supporter, who is a supporter of nini, that the deputy president anaenda huko ukula nyama waende receive as leaders that kanini ka warmth waka when he arrived early and because now deputy president ni Monene, he's a nini, he's a nini, he went through the left side of the road, right, the right side of the road and came mapema before the others were ended through the other side of the road and the jam na kufika. So when he reached he was received by this former governor and then he says that when they entered inside he was just using his phone. They never had any chat conversation yeah. And then when now the others were arriving, one of the MPs who are aligned to nini ask what this guy is doing here, then this nini Regathi akamwambia nyinyi tokeni hapa, we toka, tutaki mambo ya wenye wana support Moses Kuria. Unaget? Hebu imagine. So Regathi as a person, I tend to believe hajapelekana vizuri na leaders, the MPs and the other leaders, the government officials, because hata ukiona when he was maybe going into a church and he's calling up he's the one speaking and he's calling up MPs who are from around and our sermon ni kama like their children, you know, like ni kama na nini pia their encounter with him na Sakaja unaona by the way msee ana mishandle Sakaja, this is a governor naget ana mishandle as much as wewe ni mkubwa wake and you're advocating for people, there's a way you should
actually show some a little bit of
respect of his office
hata kama wewe si
so unaona kuna ka madharau kana smell so that was he cooked himself.
So I think that nature is actually the reason why he's actually been forced.
Mambo yote.
Maybe he has not committed.
And I'm sure there are many people with a lot of grievances against him, especially when amekuwa deputy president.
Because I think the fear is umeweka grudge tangu tuseme tu useme.
Hebu imagine.
Alafu umekuwa deputy president.
Bro.
Si utaniua. Sitakujiwa. Yenyewe ina make sense. Because ukizaona the way some senators and MPs were actually responding in that context, they had like it was all like a personal issue. It is like me and you, we don't have a thing.
Hatupelekani.
Yeah, because of that, it's better tuende na mtu mwenye haeki grudge. But now the question is, if now he has seen all these people who have fought against him, right? The National Assembly, the Senate, those who voted against him, na watu wenye nampiga kwa social media, and by chance, Koti, like we know how powerful money is in the current regime. By chance, Koti decides that money is not speaking louder than the constitution, and he actually arudishwe. So now it will be a sword fight, right? But what is going to happen? What do you think?
So you know, labda he has learned his lessons.
It's done.
And if he hasn't, he will revenge.
He shall do something.
At a revenge. Na
ataanza na watu wa hapa.
The smaller guys.
Juu sasa ni watu walibali mnakuja
ata fight from within.
I think it makes me wonder by the way because MP wa Madera, who's this guy?
Wambombi.
You see the support that he received from Regathi. Why on the other hand raise a sword?
Same thing. Inaweza kuwa same thing. Because when you listen, mimi unajua nasikizanga what people are not listening. Betty went to the wife, the guy, you know, MP Wamombi married MP Murang, I don't know which constituency. Anaitwa Betty. Alikuwa anasema Betty Esawa. So they married. The MPs wamemarry because this guy came when he was single. The other apparently single. And there was a very big wedding happened. So this Betty anasema when he was in that interview with Inoro, was speaking Kikuyu, she was alleging that this deputy president hajui the same thing wenye tunasema because hata yeye akona incidences zenye this guy even as much as aliongelelea in the dowry process aliongelelea Wamombi, this guy had predicted, alikuwa na predict ati Betty hawatakaanisha na this guy.
Alikuwa shaanza kusema hivi.
Like you can imagine someone speaking like that na ako involved inside, you know, it's very and then the deputy president huwezi bonga. Una get? And then unajua pia negotiations za huko ndani zinakuanga nasty. So una imagine kama uko hapo you know, wanaenda wakinegotiate, anasema unajua huyu mwanamke amepoteza marriages kadhaa tumesikia. Sasa mnaitisha pesa mingi na you know such kind of a negotiation, you know, itamkata as a lady. So una imagine nako hapo.
So hiyo ndio basi inaweza kuwa like
he was used to be ana nini pia. So una imagine now this couple vile wameachwa na heart, you know, and then sasa wanasikia mkubwa wake anataka kumtoa na mkubwa wake ni more powerful than mdogo wake. Kaende. So I think hapo on the issue ya Wamombi, it is I suspect it is something to do with their marriage and him being involved in that thing.
Yeah, because the general public has been expecting like with mingi kusaidia story ya dawa. Ngakuna ni support all time. Na cheki. Nikisema naruka kwa kisima tunaamka sisi wote. Na cheki. But now surprisingly wanasema ni uanguke solo. Uanguke kwa kisima solo.
Hapana. So mi nafikiria these guys were hurt by this man.
Yeah.
And then sasa wakisikia other people saying the same thing in the circles of their leadership, wanaona msee bana anaweza tufanyia vabaya.
So it all narrows down
to his personality.
Wow. It actually makes sense. So
to his personality.
Like watu wanashikilia ile roho ya nini okay, they should know some of these stories.
Msee
he's not the person that,
but on the other hand we can't wish for him because unajua as much as office yake ndio tuna respect, hatuwezi it is not good to set such kind of a precedent. Ati na hapo ndo ninasema it is because Kenyans we do not stand up for shit. We don't stand up for anything. Sisi wewe ukiamka vile tu kwa kusho wewe ukizaliwa unaambiwa unataka kukua nini. So nyinyi as a child utasema what you have seen hapo around and what is the resemblance of success.
When I grew up I wanted to be a cook.
Yes.
Then akomea mkuka anaka salary. Fanya hivi enda uko engineer. Soma uko engineer.
Kama nani. Na sababu labda wao nani anaibanga barabara zetu huko.
Bana. Yeye anakuja kula ninachopa hapa, mzee akwambia unaona anakuja na chopa. Hata hiyo chopa ni yake. Unajua ukiwa cook sijaona kuka na chopa. Sasa wewe ulikuwa na vision lakini sasa ilikuwa die down by sasa. Story for another day. Hiyo ni story another day baby. So like to find something to stand up. So
sasa kwa hivyo.
So
I guess sasa regarding